Hey, this is Steve Lukather from Toto, and you're listening to Concierto 88.5. We're going to be coming in November. You better be there. We got a kick ass show for you.
Welcome, everybody. We're here at Radio Concierto with Steve Lukather from Toto, who's coming to Chile next November the 20th. So we're very excited about that. How are you?
Too, me too.
You're excited too?
Oh
Yes?
man, I've been trying to get. It's been 17 years. That's crazy. I've been trying to get there. We've been trying to do it. It just didn't work out for whatever reasons. But we're coming this time, and it's we're just really excited to become. We got a great band, great show. It's gonna be all the hits. We're gonna do all that. We're gonna do all stuff from our other albums, and then the musicianship is crazy. Everybody gets a moment. Everybody got five lead singers on the stage with me, so the vocals are
Wow.
really strong. Everybody gets a moment there. So I mean, and the band is we're playing stuff more like the original recordings than sometimes, as the band has gone through all these years, some of the things, because we played stuff so many times as musicians, go, well, why don't we try it like this? Why don't we try to be different? And that's cool. And we had those great moments. But, now looking at the Spotify charts, which is the ones that everybody matters. I mean, Africa's, 2.2 billion now. Hold the Line's almost a billion. I mean, our stats are ridiculous. We're doing 66 million a month on Spotify, 2 million a day,
That's
which
a
is
lot.
crazy for a bunch of old guys. And then we look at Chile, it's like one of the number one places where people dig the music. So, like, why aren't we there? So, what I heard was the pre-sale is
Yeah.
already sold out before it even got to the people. So we've already sold 6,000 tickets out of a 12, so like once it goes on sale, we're gonna have sellout shows, man. And we're so excited to be coming down there to see you guys, play for you. The irony that we're starting where we're like, we're really super popular and have
Yeah.
such a great show, that sets the tone for the whole tour. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it definitely does.
I love Chile. I love my experiences. I've been to South America, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, over the 47 years I've been doing this. Jeez, did I
Yes.
say that out loud? 47 years? That's crazy. Um, and the audiences have always been fantastic, and I love the food. I love the culture. I love South American. I love Chile. I love the people. I can't wait to come. It's really excited after all these years. Like, great. And the fact that it's being embraced and people are into it already, it made us feel so good. Thank you everybody in Radio Land for the love. And we really, really do appreciate it more than you could possibly know.
Thank you. So you've come to Chile a couple of times, including the Festival de Viña, which is like a very huge stage for us. Do you have any memories of that?
Yeah, I remember it being a great show. There was some kind of thing where we won like the best band of the night or something, which is ridiculous. How do you judge that? I mean, I guess we went down really, really well, and people dug it. They thought it was, they didn't believe we were actually doing it. We had to like sing off stage and go like, no, that's really us. They thought, oh, you're lip syncing. I said, no, no.
No. And do you have any memories of did you do something here? I don't know, did you
Yeah, I
go
think,
somewhere?
well, I mean, the last time I was there, I was still in my crazy time. You know what I mean? I was party every night. Now I'm like, haven't had a drink in 15 years. But last time I just remember Mas Fiesta. too, too much Fiesta, maybe.
That's
But
fine.
you know what? Now it's all, now I'm a, I'm still like a kid at heart, but I mean, there's certain realities as you get older, you got to take care of yourself, man. I want to live a long life like my brother Ringo.
Yeah. And what would you say is special about this tour and why should people go if you had to convince someone to go?
You want to see a bunch of guys really play?
Yeah.
Really think, I mean, and really have the chops to do it. It's old school. Our show is old school, like the 70s. We're bringing back, there's not some ridiculous production where my face is going to be the size of the arena and all that. It's such a tired, everybody has the same, you've seen it. So what you haven't seen is a great sound, great lights, nice backdrop, and a bunch of guys that kick ass. And that's what makes it different. It's not There's no fakery. There's no Pro Tools. There's no click tracks. You know, it's all being played. You know what I mean? In real time. Everything you hear on stage is being played for real and
Okay.
sung for real. I mean, it's, you know, hey, listen, is there, you'll see. You'll just have to see in here. And it's so different from everybody else's massive production. It's the same production. So we're doing a minimalistic thing, but the maximizing the music and showing, because sometimes when you go to these shows, it's so the production's so big, the musicians look like they're like that big. You know what I mean? And so you lose the people actually making the sound over these bells and whistles, same shit, clouds going by in slow motion, or somebody's hands like going like this, or so you know, it's bomb. Then the bomb goes, you know, the flash pots go off, and you know, come on, man. It's almost become cheesy because it's the same shit every night. So, I mean, I wanted to go old school, and people are welcoming that. Like, there's kids going, wow. I mean, I'm not used to seeing guys up there just playing so great, and the attention is on us instead of the production.
Cool. So you talked about Spotify. Do you feel in your one of your songs what was featured on Stranger Things? Do you think that had
That
any?
started the whole Africa phenomenon. You know, that was it with young people. Young people saw that and dug the song. And then all of a sudden it blew up again. This
Yeah.
song's been a hit 3 times, and this time it's the biggest ever. So that's a golden carrot. You know what I mean? That's what I call it. It's like the golden song that brings people to the shows. And then a lot of kids are going, oh, I didn't know they did that song. Oh, I didn't know they did that song. And wow, those guys can really play. That's what we're getting from young people. And it gets a different reaction because it's a different vibe when it's raw, real.
Yeah.
And is that it sounds so good? Is that the record? Maybe it is the record. You know what I mean? Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trickery, and people are getting busted for it now. And because everybody's got cameras, you know, going like, "Oh, did you really sing that? No, you didn't." You know, or did you really play that? You know, come to our show, you can take all the pictures you want, man. This is real. As you waking up, looking in the mirror, going, "Who is that?"
And in that regard, what's your opinion on streaming systems? I mean, when you
I
started,
have a great
music
deal.
was very different.
You know, people have dogged Spotify. Here's the deal, our deal. When I took over management of the band and about 8+ years ago when Spotify was brand new, nobody knew it was going to be what it is. Um, we had the insight. David goes, when you go negotiate, make sure you get, I'm not going to tell you the percentage, but nobody gets our percentage. Okay.
Cool.
We won. We're making way more than we made off regular record sales. Okay, I'll put it to you. That was one of the best management moves I could have ever made with Sony. So people bitch about, oh, you only get we put up a thing where it's like we got the billion selling song. Well, now it's 2.2 billion. Um, but and people go, oh, would you make $20? It's like, no, man. We're laughing all the way. We're going. Now, the people that hate Spotify either got a shitty deal or they have nobody streaming their songs.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. They put up 10,000 to 100,000 songs a day, new songs all over YouTube. And I mean, there's just so much coming at you. How do you find the good shit? These kids found us, and then that TV show went into other things. And all of a sudden, our song started getting licensed in all these other films and stuff, and it blew up. And then it's back on the radio, and then Spotify took off and became a thing. College kids. There was a club in London that just played only Africa for 24 hours. I would have I would have killed myself personally. After the third time, it's like, get me out of here. I can't take it, you know.
Yeah.
We've been playing this song. We recorded it in 1981. Okay, so I played the song a few times, but it's been a hit 3 times, and this time it's bigger than ever. And I laugh. I go, "Thank you, Lord Jesus, for this wonderful blessing." And that's not a joke. I'm a Christian guy. I really pray every day. I know that the Lord's with me, but you know, wow, this has been a great gift at this time, at our age, to be top 20 Spotify ever in the history of it. And you know, we're getting 66 million views a month. 2 million a day. That's pretty good for old guys.
Yeah, and you talked about the top of Spotify, which is currently, now Taylor Swift on the top of it, which I read somewhere that you worked with her.
The our drummer did.
But you have actually you worked with Michael Jackson, right?
Sure.
That I'm
Yeah,
right. How was
yeah,
that?
we're all over Thriller.
Yeah, that's like a huge success.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a great. I was 24 years old when I did that.
Wow.
And that was after I did Quincy. I did Quincy Jones' Dude record. The Dude album that had all those big hits on it. Just once, dun-dun-dun-dun. I thought that was the first song I cut with Quincy. I was like 22 years old or something like that. And he invited me. After that, he took a shine to me, and I ended up doing the whole album and playing with Stevie Wonder. It was a dream come true kind of stuff. I'm in a room. I'm looking around, going, look at the legends in this room, and I'm here too. That's pretty. How did I do that? It's very humbling and very wonderful. I mean, at that age, I was just a kid going, "This is better than a dream come true." I'm actually in the room with people's albums I worship. And it was such a wonderful experience. And Quincy goes, "Man, you got to be on the next Michael album." And it was coming from Off the Wall, which is already a massive success. And I loved Michael's music. I loved the Jackson Five when they were kids. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
Michael's my age. So, I mean, when we worked together, it was like, he could relate to everything because we were the same age. And he was really nice to work with. I mean, he was a pro. I didn't see nothing weird at all. Well, I saw him carrying when we first did the first session with Paul McCartney, too. Another legendary moment. Michael walked in with, there was a TV star, Webster. It was this little black kid. He carried him around in his arms like a ventriloquist doll. I thought that was the only weird thing I saw. I was going like, well, that's weird. You're carrying around Webster. We were all kind of cracking up. McCartney's there. It was beyond surreal, was the
Yeah.
word. I'm going looking around the room, going, there's Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, George Martin, who produced the Beatles, and Jeff Emmerich, who was the engineer of all the Beatles stuff. And Paul took a shine to me and Jeff Picard. We ended up working with him on the movie, Give My Regards to Broad Street. Not a great movie, but a wonderful experience. And
And
I don't care about that. I was hanging out with Paul McCartney for 2 weeks in London. Him and Linda were just so fabulous to us, man. They were so great to us. And that was my first Beatle experience. But Michael was great. I mean, he was really appreciative of what we did. And I worked with him on the Beat It stuff, when we had to put that record back together again. It was like, and then I did all the overdubs with him. And we worked on parts together. I came up with parts. I made my suggestions, and it worked. And so I worked on that Human Nature, which was Steve Picaro's song from Toto. It was basically a Toto song with Michael singing, and then I came up with all those parts. Quincy was like, you gotta make this pop song a little funkier I need some glue in here. And I came up with that part on the spot. And now people like that part a lot. I mean, I just did it and that seems to be one that people point out. But we also did what else did I do? The Girl's Mind, Beat It, and Human Nature, I don't know, whatever. We're all over that record.
you also, I read somewhere that Toto also did the original soundtrack for Dune in
Yeah,
1994. Did you
yeah,
work on that?
yeah.
And what do you feel
David
about?
Lynch, man. David Lynch is like a hero of mine. When I heard that he was doing, now, granted, the movie never got finished by David. You have to understand it. So, I mean, it was considered like a disaster when it came out. But now it's got kind of like this like kitschy thing where like people dig it because it's weird. You know what I mean? So we turned down Footloose, which
Wow.
sold 10 million albums, to
Yeah,
do the movie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's true. It's the fact. That's true fact. I worked on some of the songs on that album with other artists as a session player. But on the other hand, should we have done that? Well, I don't know. Life puts you where you put it, but it was a really wonderful experience to work with David Lynch. I got to work with him very closely, and I still see him with Ringo. We're still buddies. I mean, I don't hang out with him every day or nothing like that, but whenever we see each other, it's like Luke, and I go David,
Yeah.
and we've known each other a lot through the years. So one of my best friends, Miguel Ferrer, God bless his soul, passed away. He was on the TV show Dune. I'm not Dune. Twin Peaks.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
My buddy was one of the stars of that. I'd go down to the set. Miggy would invite me to the set, and people would be looking at me going, "Shh, what are you doing here?" I go,
You were at the set of
I
two.
was invited. So all of a sudden, like I'm standing in the corner, just kind of watching them. They're blocking a scene for the TV to film,
Yeah.
and Lynch sees me, and he stops everything. He goes, "Luke!" He comes over, and he gives me a big hug, and all of a sudden, everybody's looking like this guy really knows David Lynch. He really knows this guy.
I have two more questions for you. Um, so you've been touring with Journey. How has that been?
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I
you've
mean,
been friends,
honestly,
right?
I
You're
mean,
friends.
it's a great show for if you like that. I mean, Toto Journey mixes together very, very well. I love those guys, Neil and Jonathan and I. I played on Jonathan's original demos in 1977 before he had any fame at all. And also, and Neil and I go way back as guitar player and not okay. We used to get in all sorts of trouble when we were young. My son, Trevor, married Jonathan Cain's daughter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, that was an organic thing. We didn't really have it, dads didn't have nothing to do with it, but we're very proud dads. And it's touring with those guys is like family, man. I mean, it's one big happy. I mean, I love they're one of the greatest bands ever, and we're dear friends, and they've given us a great opportunity to play in front of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people in the United States. That has really helped our career because people are going, wow, those guys are really good, man. Not just the Africa band.
Yeah,
I mean, that may be what gets people there, but once they see what else we can do, you watch and see. Come to this young man, come to the show.
I will go. I will. I actually want to take my father, who's a big fan of yours. So
Great. I
yeah,
love it. We get a lot of generational, like fathers, daughters, and sons, and families come, because our show, we don't do the politics. We don't do, this is 2 hours of just music, fun. Take your mind off the world problems that we all are afraid of. It affects us all. Some of the negative aspects of life, and we're the positive aspect. We want to come and show you a good time, make you remember maybe nostalgia for some people. Oh, that song, I remember my first wife. I married that girl after I heard that song. I kissed her for the first time listening to one of your songs or whatever. We get a lot of first timers, you know what I mean?
yeah,
The first time I ever was listening to your song. And I laugh and I go, that's awesome.
yeah. You just
Killer.
laugh about it.
And then I have such a weird sense of humor. I start imagining when I cartoon on it to the get into the I start,
And my last question for you is, I read an interview of yours, and you said that you still feel like you're 25 until you look at the mirror. What does having 25 mean to
maybe 16 in humor land. I have a 16-year-old sense of humor, but I'm a 66-year-old body. I feel good. I just had a full physical, and I'm like healthier than I've ever been. And I'm still a kid at heart, and I have the greatest job on planet Earth.
Yeah,
I I know I'm rock star. I hate to use that word because it's so cheesy, but I mean I get to go on stage and have tens of thousands of people, more sometimes, scream for me. I get to play guitar for a couple hours and they pay me for it. I mean, even my famous actor friends want my job. I mean, it's like, and I realize, all those years I put in when I was young brought me here, practicing and dreaming and playing and studying music. And, music, it wasn't about being a rock star. It was about having a long career. All I ever wanted was to have a long career in music. And boy, I got my dream 47 years in. And I'm still as excited doing it as I was when I was young.
yeah, that's
It's not
amazing.
like, I'm not like, oh shit, I got to go do this and make some money or whatever, hold the line, whatever. We go on with a big ass smile, going, "Yes, I still get to do this. This is fantastic."
That's great. Thank you so much. That was great, and thank you for everything for this conversation.
Thanks, brother. I'll talk to you later.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.